Don't feed me stereotypical black character with super enhanced blackness.
JabberJawZ in the building, y'all. What it do? It's the Vulgar Desperado.
Got that gentleman bastard.
Yami Yugi.
Here today to talk to you about a topic that's kind of popular right now because of the recent Batman movie, race swapping. Is it good? Is it bad? Or does it not really fucking matter? So we're going to kind of just give our thoughts and opinions on it. I kind of mentioned this on a previous video. I only think it's okay, or it kind of works in acting only with okay intentions. Obviously, if you're race swapping for the woke reasons, which is 90% of what anything is nowadays, then it kind of is like null and void. But if somebody could just act the part well, right? Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Nick Fury, great. Samuel L. Jackson. No one really gave a complaint. Honestly, I wasn't a big Marvel fan.
I'm gonna keep it a brick. I thought he was black. That's
exactly what I was about to say.
It worked out perfect.
Way too perfect.
I did not know he wasn't white. Until I looked it up. I'm not a huge Marvel guy like that. I know what I know, but not Nick no fucking Fury.
No.
So, it worked and it kind of gets you into the character. And you don't kind of give a fuck after.
Exactly.
Or if it's something like the original Green Lanterns, like Hal Jordan to Jonathan Stewart or John Stewart.
Most people that grew up in our gen thought Green Lantern originally was black, and you learned about that.
And because it was an actual different character.
Green Lanterns are different because they are cops almost. So that's why I think it's...
Well, but it was the same superhero, but they were two different people. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
As to where, I don't know, when you sent us that race swapped Justice League, was that dude Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, it's Black Man.
He looks like just a cosplay.
He's Black Man. I think his name is Jace, but it's Jace Fox. It's Lucius Fox's son.
Oh, cool.
And I actually, in that video, I mentioned that, I'm like, hey, it's not... the idea and the concept might have been tight, when Batman Begins and the Nolan trilogy was out. Lucius Fox's son kind of taking over the Robin mantle instead of, Joseph Gordon-Levitt at the end.
Exactly.
And it's not a bad idea.
Yep.
But the problem is now that everything has the lens of wokeness, right? Simple ideas. Even, like I said, switching up with Jon Stewart from Hal Jordan in the Justice League cartoon, just to kind of let you know some lore and just show you, hey, another one out there, all these things just, I don't know, they were in good faith before, but now, they're sometimes in bad faith.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
And I think it's dependent on the role, too. I know, one of the things I've seen with that live-action Cowboy Bebop, there's, this chick in a scene from a bar from the beginning of the fucking series, and they made her a black chick, and they were like, oh, Netflix with the race swapping, and really... I don't think that was that big of a deal because it was a minor character for one scene.
Oh, yeah.
So I think in those terms it doesn't really matter. If you want to get your diversity hires in per se, in the extra category or whatever, then for sure. But I think when you take a character who's known specifically for being something, a certain race or whatever, and just straight up change them, it does kind of pull you out of it. And also depending on how hard you put the
emphasis on the blackness.
Yeah, and exactly. Or their change. Even if it's all of a sudden a woman now or something like that. If you put too much emphasis on the womanhood or too much emphasis on the blackness or now the Asianness, whatever, then you're pulling me out of the movie.
Yeah, and actually a good example of this, and one tiny spoiler of the Batman movie. Yeah, I'm the only one here that has seen this movie. These niggas is failing. But so let's just compare the two. There's two race swaps in that movie. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon was...
So, Inspector Gordon is black now?
Yeah. That's Gordon. Jeffrey Wright.
Yep.
I don't hate that.
It's a really good Gordon, because he's a really good actor. And he kind of has the look, and honestly, their buddy cop dynamic is fantastic in that movie. No issues or complaints there. To be perfectly honest, no real issues or complaints with the Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, except it cracks me up because she has to be in the
Halle
hugest
Berry was
heels.
Catwoman too. So.
Exactly. Well, that girl is 5 foot.
Yeah,
Robert
she's
Pattinson 6. She's small as shit. Right. Yeah. So it's a kind of funny, but there is one moment that perfectly exemplifies what you were just talking about. You don't give any second credence to the fact that she's black outside of the fact that we live in this woke era.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point in the movie, she says to Batman, "Come on, let's stick it to these white privileged bastards." And you're just kind of like...
Bruce Wayne is a white privileged bastard.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's more in the sense of, it's like, well, you have now acknowledged that this is a race swap.
Yeah.
You have acknowledged that you're different. It doesn't matter if you look different, even in the color, design, whatever, but you don't need to be like, there don't need to be emphasis on it. And honestly, it's a small one. So in that sense,
quick little lines like that are definitely enough to make you think about it.
They take you out the movie.
You out of the
Like,
movie.
all the interest, that emergence gone. It's just...
Like, I mean, fuck, even I think
Unneeded
Fantastic
words.
Four did that. They switched Johnny Storm, made him black.
Mm.
And even that movie is terrible on all ends.
He
Yep.
watches Naruto.
Movie is terrible on all ends, but they don't really like draw super much issue to the fact that, like, okay, there's a race swap. It is like what it is, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So nobody really cares in that one. Another one, like, you know, like I said, it doesn't really matter if the actor is good, and depending on like what the role is. Did you guys know that Denzel played Macbeth in a movie recently?
No.
Yeah, that's like a Shakespeare one. I think it's like Scotland, right? I don't know goddamn Macbeth. But you get the point. Nobody's going to complain about Denzel Washington, a really fucking bona fide great actor, playing Macbeth. And race swap.
Because he has all of those acting skills.
Exactly. Same thing with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
But
like, they can break those barriers because they have acting skills, and that is where I agree with you on that point. Like, for acting, for any type of live action, if you got a great actor, I don't think that skin color should deter you from that actress being in that role. Like,
so would you say, just, you know, as a different question, that race swaps in animation and or comics is always a bad thing?
That's where I would say it gets bad, or it gets harder, or it gets shittier, or it becomes, you know, undone, right?
Right.
Because I'll say one that was like worked only because of the concept was Wally West. They made him black when they rebooted the universe, but they made that a new person because they brought back the original Wally West. So there was two Wally West, and there one, you know, Wallace West, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
see, and I think if you can incorporate it into a good plot point, then
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, and it's almost like not even a race swap because it's now a whole new character.
Exactly.
You know, on some multiverse shit.
Then there are times where it's like, this isn't like animation, but it's like kind of a good, you know, it's somewhere in the realms, a video game to a movie or TV show, and that's The Witcher. Most of them chicks is not black or even any of the melanin colors. And I'm not a Witcher fan, not at the game, but I looked at the designs and I look at the drawings and I'm like, there is something kind of lost in here. And I mean, like I said, not a huge fan of The Witcher, so it's like, it's not even that big of a complaint, but definitely could have got some finer looking people. But, you know, when you see what it's supposed to be, sometimes you wonder, like, if it's, again, if it's done in the right intent. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, even, like I said, I'm not a huge fan, so it's like, this kind of sucks. But at the same time, it seems like it could have been a better option if you maybe stuck to the original design.
Oh, yeah. You know which one comes to my head now, and it makes me, because I defended it, you know, but in this context of the conversation, I don't know if I would or should, but in the new upcoming God of War game, Angrboda is a black chick, and in it's Norse mythology, they're Norwegian, so literally that wouldn't be a thing. Mm-hmm. But the argument is she's a shapeshifter, she can be whatever she wants to be, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't hate that she's a black chick. Like I said, originally in the conversation between me and Desperado privately, I was defending it. You know what I mean? This nigga's a savage. And
it does not make sense. No.
Well, oh, go ahead.
No, you go. Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but now even just like thinking about it, like I do see the arguments for why maybe that race swap itself would take you out of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because there's nothing, like, once you start looking at things like, it's a serious story, it's a serious genre, and you're using your mind when you're paying your mind is on overdrive. You're like, okay, what's the mystery here? What's going on? I gotta focus, gotta pay attention. There's dialogue, it's serious shit, and you can't get past the logic of something's out of place here. It's not about racism. It's not about inclusion. It's not about progressivism. It's about accuracy. No black person that's playing this game should feel unincluded. You got to buy it, right? It's not about that.
Kratos is black, though.
And let's be real, yeah. Kratos is black. If you guys played the original fucking God of War, you would have seen he's black. The same thing with the voice actor, bro.
Yeah,
he black.
Exactly.
Accept it. There's your blackness.
Representation.
There you go, baby. and just okay. Now here's something. All right, I'm trying to connect some dots. So in a lot of recent stuff, people might know. I might try to throw up the meme. They replace ginger characters with black people, like in Annie and Wally from The Flash, and Barbara Gordon right now in the new HBO Batgirl one. It's replaced with a black chick.
Yep.
So they replace all the black people with the gingers, or the gingers with the black people. But then Kratos, who's a black man, had a ginger son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the weird connection? But nice, they say. You rearrange the words of ginger.
Hey. That's what I'm talking. That's what I was going to say, bro. Like, no offense. Shouts out to my gingers. Because,
y'all, us.
Yeah, we connected, baby.
Yo.
Next black person you see, give them a hug.
Dap you up. Let's stand together in the fight of erasure and weird swaps out. Like,
because
it's odd.
In the minds of the white storyboarders who created this, y'all are just like us, man.
Yeah, hey, that's why they put us together in Justice League. It's like that was actually by a black dude. Shout out, or R.I.P. Dwayne McDuffie.
Right.
But who didn't like Jon Stewart and Hot Girl?
Shit, one of the best.
But I mean, overall, I think if it's done in a nonchalantly, right? Like, because what are good? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of some other examples, like within animation or comics or something like that, because.
And every time I think it was done well, it was when a brand new character was introduced. Because even like, I know Aqualad, he becomes Black Calder, but he's a whole new character.
Yeah.
And,
it's a second Aqualad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, even like Robin, it's not even Robin, but there's a black dude who becomes like Batman's sidekick for a while, but he has his own name. His name is Signal. And he's an okay character at best. I kind of like his costume, his design is fine. But he was like, hey, I'm going to be my own man. I don't want to be Robin. I was like, hey, man, respect to that,
Like, even on a separate tip, like right now, how would you feel if they made Cyborg white all of a sudden? That would be weird.
It'd be weird. Right? And it wouldn't even be a thing about, like, oh, you took a black character. It's like, no. I've just seen this shit for years like this, and this is what I like. This is what it is. You know what I mean? It's dumb.
You can't. It makes no sense to have something be so one way for so long.
It's like making Superman a Martian and all of a sudden instead of Kryptonian.
Exactly.
Like, you're literally like changing their race is changing their origin, changing their backstory, changing their heritage.
It changes up a lot of who these characters are. I mean, like, keeping them the way that they are, besides like live action type of stuff, really is kind of the best way. There's no really good roundabouts.
Except for, let's be real, these super iconic characters, because I don't want black Superman. I don't want black Batman. Gordon, switch him up, that's fine. Robin, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It is kind of the difference, between like new comic book fans and maybe older comic book fans, is that was the whole original point of the multiverse. Like, you do have a black Superman in World fucking 2B1000.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an infinite number of worlds where all of that should exist. No, it's not your mainline comics that you're reading, but that's because those are the comics that you've been reading.
Right.
You read Batman because it's Batman, not because he's,
Black man.
Exactly. Hey, we could easily, if you want to make one of these characters those colors, you should take it to the multiverse. And it should, just like Miles Morales. He is from multiverse number 2. That is why him as a whole Black Spider-Man doesn't even have to be coming into any.
Yeah, they brought him into the main verse over there.
Oh, he is
Yeah,
now?
he's main verse now.
Oh,
They killed that
damn.
universe, actually.
Damn.
But I mean, the point still stands. He's
It's
kind of
just-
his own cat.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'll be real.
Changes
Miles is probably a better example of like another like okay version of a race swap, because what some people, and I would agree too, is like, people praise him as this Black Spider-Man, but Miles is like not that tight. He's kind of lame, and there's nothing really special about him. He's very safe. He's a
Yeah.
very he's not like. He's kind of like washed down Peter, but like, all right, you play the Spider-Man game. He's like, oh, he's basically Peter Parker, but he likes doing beats instead of taking pictures.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like, all right, well, what makes him different? Well, nothing. Nothing makes him different.
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of like the problem becomes when it gets to these race characters. Is it's like you're not giving us like real characters. Like over at least on the DC back in the day side, you got Jon Stewart and like Static Shock is good examples of like they have their own unique personalities with their flaws. Like Jon Stewart was a soldier, that also made him a hard ass.
Yeah.
So got a really strong and dedicated character, but also a dude with some flaws. Static was a teen, and he was kind of actually in the beginning he was a pussy. He was he was a little bit of a bitch, and that's why
he was always getting picked on by them fucking
Yep.
kids.
So that's how he got his powers. He went to go get a gun, and he was gonna go shoot somebody at the at the gang fight, and then he got hit in that big bang, and he became Static. And then he's like more of a clown. You know what I mean? Like he has kind of a fun vibe to him, but they're unique. Where it's all like Miles is kind of a carbon copy and could be a little bit like more. Honestly, it'd be tight if he was actually a bit more of an asshole, like a shit talker. He'd be kind of tight if he was a roaster, but like mean with it. Like you don't always need to be nice to Spider-Man. Be mean.
Truths. Like that would have made him completely his own type of Spider-Man then too.
Yeah, especially in them Tims.
Yeah.
He's like, nigga, I'm about to put the size 13s in your ass.
Hey, nigga, Brooklyn.
Hey, yo, right? You know what I'm saying? He got a woo symbol on his.
He said, "Woo, baby, number 5."
But it's just that there. I think that it's good in certain aspects, only in certain aspects. But like you said, the bigger main characters who have already been fully solidified, they really shouldn't be touched. Just because we know them, everyone knows them as they are.
Right.
It shouldn't be. Oh no, we need it now. No, multiverse that or don't even do it.
Because truly, I mean, like, what is the point other than, I guess at this point, other than just diversity?
Exactly.
Because most of these characters are going to be traditionally white. These comes from stories from the fucking 30s.
Yeah.
Or, 40s or whatever.
40s and 50s, the golden era.
Yeah,
wasn't
so
it?
it's like, you really just can't do it without it being a little bit awkward. In some places, like I said, it will work. You won't care. Nobody had nothing to say about Samuel L. Jackson. That nigga call you motherfucker after that anyway.
Exactly.
But the point still stands is it's like, I think what they just need to do is just make new niggas. I mean, we all know, like, Static is just sitting there. They're wasting Static.
Yeah, they haven't used him once.
Yeah. I mean, they tried in the comics, but they're not selling because it's not good comics.
Yeah.
And the fact that he doesn't have a movie, a TV show, an HBO, that's them fucking
They
up.
didn't even have toys. Where's the statues at? Damn.
Good toys. But, I mean, that's kind of the problem is these fools are, like, they have no ideas. They don't know how to make or even just use what they have. I mean, it's sad because it's like you could make new characters, but it's like you also do have a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say, you have almost 50 years, 60 years, 70 years of comic book characters to go back on and use.
Exactly.
Especially somebody who's completely unknown. Like we said, not big characters. Some random backwater didn't even know that this character existed, came from this random planet.
Yeah.
Cool, make them whatever the hell color you want. Like, but just don't touch the big ones.
I mean, right, bro? Like, they were like, oh, Black Superman. It's like, hey, why don't you just make, I don't know, Like, just like Dragon Ball Z, that shit. There's another Saiyan, there's another Kryptonian, and he
Exactly.
just happen to be black.
Right. Come
Like,
on,
wouldn't that just be alright? He was like, oh, it was a baby floating in space too. You know what I'm saying?
Shazam had all these powers exactly like Superman. You can't just make a black character who has Superman-esque powers.
Yeah,
You
just
can't just
make
make
it
him.
up.
See, like it's just you can do these things.
Oh, they did
where-
that Firestorm.
Yeah,
He's strong.
Firestorm was pretty G. So it's just I don't know. You got a lot of choices, lots of things that you can work with. Can we work with them?
So, I mean, I guess overall, what would you guys say? It's like it's okay or it's harmless? Like, I mean, I guess what for the art, do you guys think it hurts it? Do you think it's not helping I mean, this obviously there's agenda behind it.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say.
That's what the problem is.
Yep, it all goes to the intention behind the art. You know, like, and that's not even to say that like wanting to add diversity is a bad intention because, you know, even just in terms of extras, yeah, diversify your extras, make your fucking backgrounds all the more fucking
Colorful.
diverse, colorful, yeah. And even when you create new characters, try and think of characters that fit different diversities.
Exactly.
Don't feed me stereotypical black character with super enhanced blackness. And then, like,
It has to have some type of electrical power.
right, and then
Yo.
Dora the Explorer, fucking like
Yeah.
kind of chick. Like we're just a little too on the nose with our stereotypes, and that's not exactly what people want to see.
Like, it's borderline autism. Like, yo, I don't know anything else.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
here's the black one, here's the Asian one. She's smart. Like,
yeah.
bro,
It's
come
like,
on.
come on now.
Because we're unintentionally like
All people
being
are just
racist
people.
in a way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
While you're trying to not be, you're trying your damnedest not to be, but you end up being more
Still.
racist.
Exactly.
Just make the person the person. Like that's all that's necessary.
So race swapping, bad? No, in my opinion. But also, like, yeah, it can be.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's bad with the wrong intentions, but it's okay if it's
It's that
doesn't
fine
matter.
line.
it's
that-
good if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's that super fine line. Like once you tread, that's the way we kind of go with it, and hopefully you stay on the right side.
All right, y'all. Hope y'all stayed this long and listened to our ramble about the race swapping. Please like and subscribe. Try to give y'all some new content more frequently.
And let us know in the comments what you think about it. You know, keep it friendly and all this, that, and all that. You know.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace.
Later.